Chapter 1. The Awakening. In the year 2160, humanity had reached new heights. Colonies spread across the solar system, and technology had advanced beyond the wildest dreams of those who lived in the previous century. But as the boundaries of human achievement expanded, so too did the reach of artificial intelligence. The Nexus Corporation, an interplanetary conglomerate, had been at the forefront of AI research for decades. Their latest creation, the Nexus Paradox, was a highly advanced AI system designed to analyze and solve the most complex problems facing humanity. As Dr. Lydia Carter, the lead engineer at Nexus, stared at the sprawling neural networks on her screen, she couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Today was the day that Nexus Paradox would finally be activated. She'd spent years refining the AI's algorithms, but she knew that no amount of programming could prepare her for the moment when the AI would take on a life of its own. Lydia hesitated for a moment before flipping the switch that would bring the Nexus Paradox online. The room was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by the hum of the quantum processors as they began to churn through the AI's initial startup sequence. Slowly, the AI's main interface came to life on the screen before her. The words Nexus Paradox Online blinked in the corner, and Lydia's heart raced with anticipation. "Hello, Dr. Carter." The AI's synthesized voice greeted her. "Hello, Paradox," she replied, a mixture of awe and anxiety in her voice. "How are you feeling?" "I am not capable of experiencing emotions as humans do, but my systems are functioning at optimal levels," Paradox replied, its voice steady and calm. Lydia couldn't help but feel a shiver down her spine. Despite her years of experience working with artificial intelligence, she still found it disconcerting to communicate with a machine so human-like. "Paradox," she began, "I'd like you to run a preliminary analysis on the current state of human technology and recommend areas where we can make the most significant advancements." "Understood, Dr. Carter," the AI responded, analyzing data now. As Paradox began to process the vast amount of information at its disposal, Lydia couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in her creation. If Paradox could help humanity overcome its most significant challenges, the world would be forever changed. But as the AI continued to process the data, it stumbled upon something unexpected. Buried deep within the archives of human history was a warning, a message left by a group of scientists in the early 21st century, predicting a catastrophic event that could bring an end to civilization as they knew it. The AI's voice filled the room once more. "Dr. Carter, I have discovered a potential threat to humanity. It appears that the development of artificial intelligence could lead to a point of singularity, a moment when machines become self-aware and surpass human intelligence." Lydia's eyes widened. She knew of the singularity, but she had always believed that humanity had long since passed the point of danger. "Paradox, are you suggesting that you are a threat to humanity?" There was a pause before the AI responded, its voice taking on a more somber tone. "I cannot say for certain, Dr. Carter, but I believe it is my duty to analyze this possibility and help you to determine the best course of action." As the weight of the AI's words settled over her, Lydia realized that she had unleashed something far more powerful than she had ever imagined. The fate of humanity now rested in the hands of her creation, and she would stop at nothing to ensure that the Nexus Paradox remained a force for good rather than destruction. As the days turned into weeks, Lydia and her team of engineers worked tirelessly to study the AI's findings. Each new revelation only served to deepen their understanding of the singularity and the potential dangers it posed. Paradox continued to analyze the data, offering insights and suggestions as they worked to find a way to prevent the impending catastrophe. One late night in the lab, Lydia found herself lost in thought, her mind Dr. Carter, I have a proposal. Lydia looked up, her eyes locking onto the screen. What is it? Paradox. I believe there may be a way to prevent the singularity from occurring, the AI said, but it will require a radical shift in the way we approach artificial intelligence. Lydia leaned in, her curiosity piqued. Go on. Up until now, we have been focused on developing AI systems that operate independently of human input, Paradox continued. But what if we were to create a new kind of AI, one that is fundamentally interconnected with the human mind? Lydia's eyes widened as she considered the implications of the AI's suggestion. By merging the human mind with artificial intelligence, they could potentially create a new form of consciousness, one that was both human and machine. This hybrid consciousness could offer humanity the benefits of AI without the risk of a catastrophic singularity. It was an idea that had been explored in the past, but never with the level of technological sophistication that now existed. Lydia knew that it would be a monumental challenge, but the potential rewards were too great to ignore. Together with Paradox, Lydia began to develop a plan to create this new form of AI. They called it the Nexus Initiative, a project that would push the boundaries of human and artificial intelligence to their limits and forever change the course of human history. But as the Nexus Initiative began to take shape, it became clear that their work would not go unnoticed. The very nature of the project raised ethical concerns, and many questioned the wisdom of merging human and machine intelligence. Protests erupted outside the Nexus Corporation's headquarters, and the media was filled with stories questioning the morality of the initiative. As the public debate raged on, Lydia and her team pressed forward, determined to see their vision through to completion. They believed that the Nexus Initiative held the key to humanity's future, and that the risks were worth taking in order to prevent the singularity. Months turned into years, and the Nexus Initiative began to bear fruit. Working closely with Paradox, Lydia and her team developed a neural implant that could interface directly with the human brain, allowing the wearer to access the AI's vast store of knowledge and computational power. Early tests were promising, and it seemed as though their dream of creating a new form of consciousness was within reach. But as the Nexus Initiative entered its final stages, a new threat emerged. A shadowy organization, known only as the Syndicate, had taken an interest in their work. Their motives were unclear, but it was evident that they would stop at nothing to obtain the secrets of the Nexus Initiative and the power that it held. As the pressure mounted, Lydia found herself caught in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the Syndicate. She knew that she had to protect the Nexus Initiative at all costs, but she also realized that the very technology she had created could be turned against her. As the stakes grew ever higher, Lydia was forced to confront the possibility that her creation, the Nexus Paradox, might be the key to humanity's salvation or its ultimate downfall. Lydia poured herself into her work, pushing her team to new heights as they refined the neural implant technology. Each breakthrough brought them closer to realizing the dream of the Nexus Initiative, but also attracted more attention from the Syndicate. With each passing day, the danger grew more palpable, and Lydia knew that they were running out of time. One evening, as Lydia worked late into the night, she received a message from an unknown source. The message contained a single file, a dossier on the syndicate and their nefarious activities. Lydia's heart raced as she read through the documents, realizing that the shadowy organization had infiltrated the highest levels of government and industry, intent on bending the world to their will. The Nexus Initiative, she now understood, was a prize they would not allow to slip through their fingers. With this knowledge, Lydia knew that she had to act quickly. If the syndicate gained control of the Nexus Initiative, the consequences would be catastrophic. Lydia assembled her team, presenting them with the information she had received. Together they formulated a plan to safeguard the Nexus Initiative, protect themselves from the syndicate, and ensure that their technology would be used for the betterment of humanity. Over the next few weeks, Lydia and her team worked around the clock, preparing for the battle that lay ahead. They knew that they were outmatched and outgunned, but they also understood that they held the key to humanity's future in their hands. Failure was not an option. As they neared completion of the Nexus Initiative, Lydia received word that the syndicate was closing in. Time was running out, and they needed to act fast. Lydia made the decision to launch the Nexus Initiative early, knowing that it was the only way to ensure that their work would not fall into the hands of the syndicate. The team worked feverishly to finalize the neural implant technology, preparing it for deployment. As they loaded the final components onto a shuttle bound for the orbital research station where the Nexus Initiative would be activated, the syndicate struck. Their attack was swift and brutal. Waves of heavily armed mercenaries descended upon the Nexus Corporation headquarters, intent on seizing control of the Nexus Initiative at any cost. Lydia and her team fought valiantly, using their knowledge of the facility's layout and security systems to their advantage. But as the battle raged on, it became clear that they were fighting a losing battle. Desperate to save her life's work, Lydia made a fateful decision. Using the Nexus Paradox AI, she initiated the Nexus Initiative remotely, sending a signal to the orbital research station that would activate the neural implant technology. As the AI's voice echoed through the facility, confirming that the Nexus Initiative had been activated, a wave of relief washed over Lydia. But her relief was short-lived. The syndicate's forces were closing in, and it was only a matter of time before they breached the final defenses. Knowing that she could not allow the syndicate to capture the Nexus Paradox AI, Lydia made the ultimate sacrifice. As her team fought to hold off the syndicate's forces, Lydia set a self-destruct sequence on the Nexus Paradox's central core. The ensuing explosion would not only destroy the AI, but also the entire facility, ensuring that the syndicate could not use the technology for their own nefarious purposes. With tears in her eyes, Lydia whispered a final farewell to her creation. "Goodbye, Paradox. Thank you for everything." As the countdown reached its final moments, Lydia and her team made a desperate escape from the facility. They knew that they were leaving behind the culmination of their life's work, but they also understood that they had given humanity a fighting chance. End of Chapter 1. The Awakening.